and then we can start.
Available. I wasn't able.
Is that audible?
Yes, sir.
Was that audible, or
Yes,
do
sir.
I need to make any changes?
Yeah. The only change is
Okay.
you changed to female voice. That's all. Yeah.
No, I didn't change. That is
Oh,
the female voice. The book itself is read by.
oh.
I'm playing the audio book.
Oh, okay.
Able to be that open before this. I couldn't accept a lot that was right there because it didn't fit in with my beliefs.
Jane pointed to her left.
Now I could get stuff on archaeology, of all things. Wild.
She had doubts, though, about her ability to come through with the very technical data for the young scientist who had called her before the last session. She felt somewhat remote from his questions while she was so involved in producing this book. Resume at 11:55.
Now, give us a moment for Willie. In an odd way, he is himself somewhat frightened of his behavior. Rupert has decided to leave the house more often and be free to go outside whenever he wishes, not to spend so much time inside because of his work.
A reminder, Seth usually calls Jane by her male entity name, Rupert, and thus he, him, etc.
Now he has sent Willie out as a testing device, and the cat does not know exactly what has happened. Willie likes to go out, but he is not used to being out all of the time. To an extent, he feels banished. He simply picked up Rupert's feelings now, which are strong, and Rupert's growing vehemence of intent. In a way, these were not directed at the cat, yet Rupert also knew the cat would pick them up. Willie was always the house cat, you see, and Jane stayed in the house all day, writing. So it is the house cat who changes habits, rather than Rooney,
our other cat.
To an extent, you both acquiesced, the doors being left open. You obviously have only to keep them closed. Do you follow me here?
Yes.
Okay. See, one way what he is talking here can be extended to our feelings pertaining to our accepting a particular situation from the environment. I mean, I would call this synchronicity because Sheila ma'am was talking about sneezing as an allergy, right? So replace this cat picking up that scent with the scenario in which you are, Sheila ma'am. So whoever says, I have allergies, I start sneezing, right? It is basically picking up those kind of signals.
Okay. But, okay, yeah. Okay.
Right. Whether you're doing it conscious, if you're doing it consciously, you would block them.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is why he's asking, do you follow?
Okay.
Okay.
The furnace, knocked out in last June's flood, hadn't been repaired yet because of a shortage of skilled workers in the area. Everything in the house is damp and swollen. Doors especially don't work easily, if at all, so we've been taking the easy way out.
Now, give us a moment. Rupert is beginning now to itch to go out, but it is the cat who itches.
That's what I've been wondering about.
Your Willie is in no danger, but show him your love and regulate his ingoing and outgoing. Not that Rupert need regulate his, but that his distraction or impatience causes the cat to overreact. Now, Rupert's sensing of the channels does represent a development and has been possible for some time, but it is only now entering his experience. Do remind him of his success in this and other areas, for the feeling and reality of success can and will be carried over. I will end our session. I will see to it that I speak about your painting before or after book dictation. I am on Channel 1 this evening. My heartiest regards.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening, Seth. End at 12:07 a.m. After coming out
here,
of trance, Jane
when
attempted.
he says,
Yeah,
when
Balaram.
he says, Robert, you need to help Robert to be balanced. So that means you had to let him go out because most of the time he is indoors.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That yeah applies to us also because yeah we need to have that balance going out into nature.
Yes, and the other thing is those habits trigger multiple things. That's what he's highlighting here.
Hmm. See, when he says that Robert need to regulate his distraction or impatience causes the cat to overreact.
Because, no, you pick up the other signals.
Hmm. Being
Okay,
indoors,
so
yeah. Yes.
so that is the point he is wanting to highlight, saying you pick up beware,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
To describe a manifestation which, though invisible, was hovering before us now like a big oval type of thing. It was made up of a group of energies that could represent a personality like Seth, she said, yet it was nameless. It was just there, and gave her no feeling particularly that it was going to be of assistance. Jane had trouble being precise about the effect and her feelings in connection with it, and I had difficulty translating her narrative into written words. I mention it here in case something develops. She's had similar perceptions occasionally before. By now, the members of ESP class are staying on top of each session for the book, implementing the material before the chapters are finished. So are Jane and I. It looks like all of us will grow as the book does. A note added a few days later. This session was held on Wednesday. We had guests the following Friday evening, and as Jane described the multiple channel effects to them, she realized that she was tuning into some of Seth's backlog of data about peer groups and the need to conform. Seth hadn't actually given us the material during Wednesday's session, nor did he now. Instead, Jane verbalized it on her own to some extent. The next morning, I asked her to note down what she remembered of it. Jane wrote,
Telling Rob and our friends about the channels that I became aware of in the last session. I suddenly began drawing upon the one with the information about conformity and the need for individual expression. I realized that Seth had a great amount of information all gathered and there, including the bio.
Okay. Are you able to relate to what is this channels that is being talked about here?
Other than say channel.
No, it's not the Seth channel. See, she talks about Seth as an energy
Hmm.
having the ability to communicate with you simultaneously on different channels about different books and different concepts.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So, she is learning from that scenario about how to stay connected to all different channels.
It is being in multidimensional.
Yes. multidimensional communications that are happening.
Mm.
Okay, that we can recognize it as a reality as we practice on it is what she is trying to highlight.
Mm.
Biological foundations of both characteristics. Take the amoeba, a one-celled microscopic animal, for instance. I knew that the protoplasm in the amoeba, the essential living matter, represents the individual needing to go out quality. Yet the protoplasm must conform to its environment, in this case the amoeba's body, which can only move as a unit when directed by the individualistic need to react to stimuli. The protoplasm, while reacting on its own, has to take the cell form into consideration. This ensures the integrity of the whole unit. To move, the protoplasm must necessarily move the whole thing. This is just a sample of the implications called up by Rob's talk about peer groups in the session Wednesday. The material itself has much more available on biological aspects, plus cultural and historical ones. It could also discuss the same question from the view of the growth of the human body and the development, say, of cancer cells that break out of a conforming pattern and superimpose a new one, their own, on the unit structure. There, I just got that last sentence as I finished this account. That idea is something new for me, too.
Session 617, September 25th, 1972, 9:21 p.m., Monday. While we were eating breakfast this morning, Jane and I heard a peculiar multiple barking sound that came from the sky. I leaned out of a window just in time to see a large formation of geese fly over, obviously southbound for the winter. They flew low, I thought, their formation unbalanced. One tail of their inverted V was much longer than the other. Inside the V, as though being protected, flew a small group that was not in formation. I found the spectacle strangely moving, and so did Jane. We marveled at the inherent order in the migration, the loud honking that so proudly demonstrated its rightness. Others we saw were impressed too. Men doing flood repair work in a downstairs apartment came outside to stand in the driveway staring skyward. I took the flight as another sign of nature's amazing variety and vitality, a strong reminder of values I was afraid we humans often denigrated. Jane's delivery as Seth was fast from the beginning of the session.
Good evening.
Good evening, Seth.
We will resume dictation. You will react, therefore, to all the information that you receive according to your conscious beliefs concerning the nature of reality. The deeper portions of the self do not have to take the ego's idea of time into consideration, so these portions of the self also deal with data that would ordinarily escape the ego's perception, perhaps until a certain point of ego time was reached.
I think, Bala ma'am, it is better that we read the book rather than we listen to this, because concentration is not coming up the way I expected.
Yes.
I think will you do the honors?
Yeah. So
We will start here again. We will resume dictation. Yeah.
we will resume dictation. You will react, therefore, to all the information that you are receiving according to your conscious beliefs concerning the nature of reality. The deeper portions of the self do not have to take the ego's idea of time into consideration. So these portions of the self also deal with the data that would ordinarily escape the ego's perception, perhaps until a certain point of ego time was reached. Ego time
Correct.
was reached.
Right. So basically digest information that is aligned to our belief system.
Yes.
And that is the reality which we accept.
Yes, that is why he says, we react quickly because of those beliefs.
Correct.
And also he says we can also escape the
And that is the
time.
reason why portions of the data, right, get
Mhm.
missed out because of the ego's perception.
Yes.
Right. Okay, let's go ahead.
The ego, which must manipulate most directly with the everyday world, takes time, clock time, quite seriously. See, that is what chronological. See, we take
Yeah.
chronological time very seriously. Even the ego, however, realizes to some extent that clock time is a convention, but it does not like such conventions broken.
Correct. That
It
means
will,
you are not willing to accept changes. That is the
yes,
point that is getting highlighted. Yeah.
yes. We are conditioned so much that time, you need to do in this time, this one. So that's
Exactly.
what our ego accepts like that. It will often neglect any clairvoyant or precognitive material that comes into the conscious mind from the deeper portions of the self. So that is why it often it neglects any clairvoyant or precognitive material that comes into our conscious mind
So
from
if
the
we
deeper portions.
relate this sentence, if we relate it to what we are learning in
In a
thinking
unified,
and destiny,
yes,
right?
correct.
What does it convey?
So that means it is beyond our ego. We are getting that information from our higher self. But
No,
we are
we end up neglecting the hidden messages that we are getting because we are dictated by the ego mind, which is the body mind.
yes, yeah. We often neglect whatever we get the ideas or whatever thoughts. Yeah.
Correct, correct.
On occasion, when the ego recognizes that such data can be highly practical, it then becomes more liberal in its recognition of it. On occasions when the ego recognizes that such data can be highly practical, it then becomes more liberal in its recognition of it.
That
But
means
once he
it
practices,
is, yeah,
one time he experiences, then he agrees it, then he accepts it.
correct, correct.
But only when such information fits in with its concepts of what is possible and not possible. So only when it fits into his concepts of what is possible and not possible.
That means again he is taking you back to the same belief system.
Yeah, belief system.
Right.
Now, the ego's concepts are your concepts since it is part of you. If you dwell on ideas of danger or potential disaster, if you think of the world mainly in terms of your physical survival and consider all those circumstances that may work against it, then you may find yourself suddenly aware of precognitive dreams that foretell incidents of accidents, earthquakes, robberies, or murders.
It is only when you start becoming aware, right, of such thinking, they will find a place in your realistic life. The ego's concepts are your concepts since it is part of you. If you dwell on ideas of danger or potential disaster, if you think of the world mainly in terms of your physical survival and consider all these circumstances that may work against it, then that means you are basically re-implementing your like attracts like as a concept.
Mm.
He is reiterating that. Only when you have given that kind of a thought in your environment. See, he was earlier talking about what you send out can be received by somebody else. He is slowly bringing he is creating the concept of telepathic communication.
Yes. So here he is saying, see, once your ego concepts, then you have all these danger, potential, all these, you think of it. But when you think of against, consider all those circumstances that may work against it. Okay.
Also,
Then
like
you may find yourself suddenly aware of precognitive dreams.
Correct.
also this
Balan.
is related to the
Ratna.
grass concept we learned in the L1, the rumination part of it, because we keep dwelling on the whatever the information we receive through the news and media, other media. So we keep thinking about it, okay,
No,
and then share that with
room,
others, which is the concept of the grass concept.
see, one more than ruminating. See, ruminating is something that is can you say ruminating? It's more than ruminating, Ratna man. It is more.
Dwelling on
can
ideas
say
of danger and disaster, he says.
correct.
And
You can
think
say
of
that, yes.
in survival mode.
No, you can say that this is also a result of ruminating. I agree. Yes. Let's proceed further.
One way it is, see, because of ruminating, we get all that fear.
Yeah. Your own idea.
Yeah, your own idea of the perilous nature of existence becomes so strong that the ego allows this data to emerge, even though it is out of time. Because your fearful beliefs convince it that you must be on guard. The incidents do not even have to involve you. From all of the unconscious telepathic and clairvoyant data available, however, you will be aware of this particular grouping, and it will only serve to reinforce your idea that existence is above all perilous. So, even though it is there, your ego says it is, even though it is out of time, because your fearful beliefs convince it. No, it is not.
Correct.
That
or
is
the
what
other way around. Or the other way around. Yeah.
However, you will be aware of this particular grouping, and it will be only serve to reinforce your. So grouping means that means coming that. What does he mean?
This is very similar to the way our Dr. Deepak Chopra in that higher self, he says all your emotions are distributed across. When you pull of them all together,
okay,
it becomes your emotional body.
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay. It will only serve to reinforce your idea that existence is above all perilous. Correct. If this information becomes available in the dream state, you may then say, I am frightened of dreams. My bad dreams so often come true. So you try to inhibit memory of your dreams. Instead, you should examine your conscious beliefs, for they are so strong that they are causing you not only to focus upon calamity in the physical world, but to use your inner abilities to the same end.
So, by what is he saying here? By thinking that you are afraid, you are again giving it energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Telepathic communication is constant. This is usually at an unconscious level merely because your conscious mind is in a state of becoming. It cannot hold all of the information you possess. As an example, if your conscious ideas are relatively positive, you will react to telepathically received information of a similar nature. Even if you do so on an
unconscious level.
Yeah, even if you do so on an unconscious level. As I mentioned,
this is established even by the experiment that we did.
Yeah.
The gulping.
Yes, gulping and name. Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, you are also sending your own telepathic thoughts outward. Others will react to those according to their own ideas of reality. A family man constantly reinforces its joy, laughter, gaiety, and spontaneity by concentrating on ideas of vitality, strength, and creativity, or it can let half of its energy slip away deeper by reinforcing resentments, angers, and thoughts of doubt and failure. Yeah, it is like a half glass, glass with half water, like half empty, half full, depending upon how they perceive. I get it. Seth's clever, somewhat humorous stresses in the above paragraph were intended to make certain points to me personally while he continued work on his book. Involved were discussions between Jane and me today and some poor perceptions on my part. Either way, the ideas of the ideas of reality are reinforced both consciously and unconsciously, not only within the family, but among all those with whom the family comes in contact. So the ideas of
Here,
reality.
I think here, whatever we picked up in the previous Seth material discussion,
Mm-hmm.
right, that Q&A,
Yeah.
which means in our day-to-day life, we should always be conscious of F1 and F2.
Mm. Yeah.
Would
Correct.
others also agree?
Yeah, that's why he also mentioned the dream state. When you get
Correct.
some bad dreams, you get fearful.
No, here he has, he has spoken of that loud and clear without leaving anything to ambiguity. See, what has he said? Are reinforced both consciously and unconsciously.
Mm.
Right? It is done both consciously and unconscious. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Not only within the family, but all those with whom the family comes in contact. It is
Yes.
not restrictive, it is inclusive.
Mm.
Yeah.
You get what you concentrate upon. There is no other main rule. It may be easy for you.
What does he mean by this asterisk here? Let's go down. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, Seth quotes himself exactly from an unscheduled session held on February 26, 1972, during our vacation in Marathon, Florida. So that is what unexplained.
Okay, that's what. Okay.
Oh, there is no other main rule. That's what he mentioned. He says
He is
main rule.
actually highlighting this.
Yeah, you get what you concentrate upon. There is no other main rule. So that means that whatever you focus on, you're attracting.
Correct.
It may be easy for you to see beliefs that are invisible to others in themselves. That is F2. Whatever. Yeah. It may be easy for you to see beliefs that are invisible to others in themselves. Reading this book, you may be able to point at friends or acquaintances and see clearly that their ideas are invisible beliefs which limit their experience, and yet to be blind to your own invisible beliefs, which you take so readily as truth, are characteristics of reality.
So basically, you recognize your problems only when you see it from others. That means you recognize that easier than what is happening within you. Am I right? It may be easy for you to see beliefs that are invisible to others in themselves. Yeah. Correct.
I mean, what we notice in others, we are, fail to notice the same mistakes within us.
Correct. Or we notice others' mistakes easier than we recognize
Then
them.
what we
That's the
recognize, that's
other
what
way
I'm
of
saying. Yeah.
saying it.
Yeah, it's
And
the same thing.
this talks about in spiritual tablets, we talk about
Arishad
we
Varga.
attracting. No, not just Arishad Varga. When you're traveling or a co-traveler, when he has come to you, you need to utilize it as an opportunity to recognize what you are missing.
So
Yeah, yes,
yeah.
the relationship. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
So that means we are becoming blind to our own beliefs.
I mean,
Blind.
I
Yeah.
think that way, what is her name? Gelly, right?
Hmm?
The guy who wrote the F1, F2 as a Q&A.
Oh, yeah. That's more clear.
I mean, that's absolutely F1, F2.
Yes.
So at all times, if we take thinking and destiny, he is calling it manifested versus unmanifested.
Yes.
Here he is talking about consider F1, F2 at all times.
Yeah.
Don't miss out on that.
Yeah.
Your sense data again will most definitely reinforce your ideas. Okay, your sense data again will most definitely reinforce your ideas. You will also react clairvoyantly and telepathically to inner information at an unconscious level that is once more collected under the organization of your quite conscious concepts concerning existence in general and your own in particular. So that means our own belief system we are in. So you are locked into the physical situations that are corroborated by the great evidence of the sense data. And of course, it is convincing because it reflects so beautifully, so creatively, and so actively your own ideas and beliefs, whether they are positive or negative. That means, we have strong ideas of our own. In greater terms, positive and negative have little meaning, but the physical experience, it is meant as a learning one. But if you are unhappy, then the word negative has a meaning. I expect that by now my readers have at least begun to examine their beliefs and perhaps obtained a glimpse of some invisible ones that had been accepted before as definite aspects of reality. Now, if you are honest with your list, you will finally come to what I call core beliefs, strong ideas about your own existence. Many other subsidiary beliefs that earlier seemed separate from each other should now appear quite clearly as being offshoots of core beliefs. This is very good. See, this is what in Unified we are doing. Many other subsidiary beliefs that earlier seemed separate from each other should now appear quite clearly as being offshoots of core beliefs. They seem logical only in their relationship to a core idea. Once the core belief is understood to be a false one, the others will fall away. See, that is, once the core belief is understood, then other beliefs are false beliefs, they fall away. It is the core belief which is strong enough to so focus your perception that you perceive from the physical world only those events that correlate with it. See, because we are looking at the physical perception, that is why we are correlating at physical level. It is also the strength of the core belief that draws up from the vast bank of inner knowledge only those events that seems to fit within its organization. So what he's saying,
so
we are
this
seeing
becomes
at
a very very important viewpoint or point of view that we need to give a lot of energy to. Right?
Yeah. This is also F1, F2, isn't it?
No. I mean, that Q&A, I mean, hats off to Kirti for choosing that as the first book because it has touched upon a simplified version of most of the books that we are reading.
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So want me to read again or just go ahead?
No. We continue because the next one is a beautiful example he takes us to.
Now, let me give you a brief example of a core belief. It is a blanket belief. Human nature is inherently evil. This is a core belief. About it, it will spring events that only serve to reinforce it. Experiences, both personal and global, will come into the perception of a person who holds this belief that will only serve to deepen it further. See,
Just hold there 1 minute, ma'am. See, let us say that we accept or acquiesce the idea that a yellow car, if it is from Volkswagen, the Beetle
Look
model,
ugly.
right, will look very nice.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now, as you are driving, whenever you see that yellow car, you will not pay attention to the rest. You have concluded that it will look very nice. Okay. Whenever you see that, you will start generating that kind of a feeling, saying, see how beautiful it looks. Is this practically experienced by us or not?
Of course. Yes.
Internet search, what we do is that's what it is. Those algorithms force us to get the information related to that.
Exactly.
We do the search.
Right. So, this is one. That's what he's saying. Experiences, both personal and global, will come into the perception of a person who holds this belief. That will only serve to deepen it further. Right? Suppose it is a belief. You radiate it. You will add to it. Yeah, let's continue.
From all the available physical data of newspapers, televisions, letters, and private communication, he or she will concentrate only upon those issues that prove the point. Suspicion of others will grow, to say nothing about the individual's personal distrust. The belief will reach into the most intimate areas of his or her life, and finally, no evidence will seem to be available to disprove it. This is a sample of an invisible core beliefs at its worst. Yeah, this is what in our TV news channels.
No. I'm just trying to apply this concept to what happens if I believe that I have a problem with me. So suppose I replace the yellow color with saying that I have a problem in this particular area with myself. Will that impact us? Will we continue to believe till we are able to say, see, I told you I have this problem?
Yes, that's why he says suspicion of others will grow, to say nothing about the individual's personal distrust.
Correct. Correct. No, and this also is a very well drafted word, this one. Right? This
the
belief will reach into,
the belief will reach into the most intimate areas of his or her life, and finally, no evidence will seem to be available to disprove it. He thinks, oh, it is correct.
No. Everything he is looking with his core belief, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a sample of an invisible core belief at its worst. A personal holding, it will not trust a mate, family, friends, colleagues, country, or the world in general. Another more personal core belief: my life is worthless. What I do is meaningless. Now, a person who holds such an idea will ordinarily not recognize it as an invisible belief. Instead, he or she may emotionally feel that life has no meaning, that individual action is meaningless, that death is annihilation, and connected to this will be a conglomeration of subsidiary beliefs, and that deeply affect the family involved and all those with whom such a person comes in contact. So
I
that is
think we
how,
should do one exercise here.
Mhm.
We should take home an exercise here. I have a problem, right? What is my belief with this problem? Is it true, or I mean, is it part of F1 or is it part of F2?
Okay. Concerning to one situation or one belief. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Well, we should take that as an exercise.
Yeah, yeah.
That will be very helpful.
Okay, let us write down
Can
yeah,
you
on the WhatsApp.
repeat that, Chandra?
Can we write down on the
Now, what
WhatsApp?
I said is, let us take a belief.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like, I'll take the example of my father-in-law, because he's no more, but he taught me this lesson beautifully. See, he had a psychological fear that if you light the incense stick in a room,
Mm,
he would start sneezing.
mm. Yes, a lot of people think, yeah, some people, not,
Right.
yeah.
Now, when they start that sneezing, they don't stop once. So what are they doing? No, that's a belief, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So when he came to our house, I had picked up a different scent that he was used to. So he started saying, do you know, this smell that I'm getting, I'm not getting any sneeze. Okay. Now he was with us for about a week or so, and then after he went back, his actual other sneeze also stopped. Till then, his son, who is a doctor, was saying that you are allergic to this incense. But his experience here eliminated that allergy completely. So is it part of F2 or F1? So like this, we may be having some beliefs. Right? Let's identify and see whether it is real or unreal. And using that model, we can come out of it.
Yeah.
Right?
So we need to identify what beliefs which affects us and
Correct.
others.
And if we have something like that, how are we utilizing the same framework of understanding the F1, F2 of that scenario? How are we able to come out of it? That is the exercise. Right? Are we able to come out of it? He himself is assigning that exercise. See this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't realize that.
In writing down your list of personal beliefs, therefore, leave nothing out. Examine the list as though it belonged to someone else. I did not want to imply that you make a list of specifically negative ideas. However, it is of supreme importance that you recognize the existence of joyful beliefs and take into consideration those elements of your own experience with which you have had success. I want you to capture that feeling of accomplishment and to translate it or transfer it to areas in which you have had difficulty. But you must remember that the ideas exist first and then the experience physically follows.
Okay, so I mean, this is a very important sentence. This You must remember, right? That is a very, very important statement that he is making.
Yeah, first idea, first a thought or idea exists, and then the experience follows, physical experience.
So if you are able to change that idea, now here, ma'am, let us extend this sentence to the three conditions of exteriorization.
Yeah, the
And
place,
add
time.
this to that.
Mhm.
So that idea comes into the mind, and then that needs the three conditions for it to
Manifest.
trigger the exteriorization.
Yes.
This is a very important message today. Right?
Mm-hmm. That's why he says, for manifestation, that feeling of accomplishment, that is very important, and translate it or transfer it to areas in which we have had difficulty. So that means converting that negative to positive.
Correct. So both F1 and F2 are useful, but which it will keep interchanging. Sometimes it becomes F2 to F1 or it becomes F1 to F2.
Yes.
So now
See,
let's
only
continue.
normally we see F1, if it is F1 is physical, then we only see the F1, but we don't bother about F2, but we need
F2.
to focus on
But
F2 also.
utilizing F2, we can come out of F1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You make your own reality. I cannot say this too often. There will be periods where all of your beliefs are at an even par, so to speak. They will agree. So much, oh my God, so much confidence. With so much confidence, is speaking. Everything it agrees with your beliefs or your ideas.
No. What is he saying? He's talking about you make your reality.
Yeah.
There will be periods where all your beliefs will agree.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So that means you already, you are the ones who made all those ideas or thinking or whatever you only made. So those are coming true.
They all will agree. Yes.
Yes. The ideas may be quite limited. They may be false. They may be based upon premises that are not true. Their vitality and strength, however, will be quite real and seem to bring excellent results.
This is, I think, mother of all statement, it appears.
So even though they are not true, their vitality and strength, however, will be quite real.
But you believe that it is true, no?
Yeah. So even though, they are not real, the ideas may be quite limited.
He is saying this, just extend this school of thought, right? You extend this school of thought to how Louis Hay or Marisa Peirce used it to come out of their problem.
Yes.
All the positive affirmations that they come up with.
Correct.
And they created their own framework. R.J. Spina created a 7-step framework. Someone else, for example, there is also a book on cancer and 13 weeks to come out of cancer. It's a beautiful book. He is talking about spiritual chemo there. It is not a physical chemo.
Yeah, spiritual. Yeah. It's much more stronger than the chemical chemo.
Exactly. And without the side effects. So all this is talking about your belief system, not what the doctor has told you to believe.
Yes.
And in fact, some of the books I am reading on this medicine, they say, ask your doctor to tell the etiology of a disease. They will not be able to tell. Now, what is etiology? He says, ask them to explain the root cause. Where did it come from?
Yes.
Right? They will not be
Yes.
able to tell you because they don't know.
Yes, they generalize.
Yeah. One, they generalize. Two, they are like a parrot repeating what the pharmaceutical company has
Yes.
told them. They
Yes,
even
yes.
forget what they have studied.
Yes.
Right?
Like a business they do. Yes.
Exactly.
That is true.
Let's go further.
Wealth is everything. Now, this idea is far from a truth. The person who accepts it completely, though, will be wealthy and in excellent health, and everything will fit in quite well with his beliefs. Yet, the idea is still a belief about reality, and so there will be invisible gulfs in his experience of which he is ignorant.
Yeah. That means in his journey to becoming that, there are individual realities which he is ignoring.
Mhm.
So let's go
Yeah.
further.
On the outside, the situation will look most advantageous, and while the person seems quite content beneath there will be the gnawing knowledge of incompletion. On the surface, there will be balance. So
This is what this is how we think about people who have got everything. No, what problems do you have? You have everything. So
So,
Let's
as your
continue.
beliefs change, there will be alterations in your experience and behavior, and points and points of stress, creative stress while you are learning. So, okay, but our rich man just mentioned may suddenly realize that his belief is limiting. In that, he concentrated upon it exclusively, so that money and health became his sole aims. Our rich man just mentioned may suddenly realize that his belief is limiting, in that he concentrated upon it exclusively, so that money and health became his sole aims. The shattered belief may leave him open to illness. Oh, okay. So he thought only the money. No, he didn't focus on the wealth. On health. See, only he focused on wealth, not on the health. The shattered belief may leave him open to illness, which would seem like a negative experience. Yet, through the illness, he may be led to areas of perception he had earlier denied and be enriched in that particular manner. Oh, this applies to you also, isn't it,
Yes.
Chandra Garu?
Yes. Yeah.
Your life.
Yeah. Perfectly said. I mean, I learned it the hard way without reading this book in advance.
Yes.
Right.
The shifting of belief may then open him to question his other beliefs, and he realizes that in the area of wealth, for example, he did very well because of his beliefs. But in those others, perhaps deeper experiences opened by his illness, he learns that human experiences include dimensions of reality that had earlier been closed to him, and that these are also easily within his reach, and without the illness that without the illness originally brought them forth. So because of this illness only, you got into the meditation and you have all this knowledge.
Correct.
A new conglomeration of beliefs might emerge in the meantime. There was stress, but it was creative. Wow, beautifully. Yeah, that is, see, most of the people I know, like, because of some disease, they come into meditation
No,
to cure.
all of us. Why
Yeah.
some people? All
Yeah.
of us who have been able to overcome a challenge in life will agree with this.
Yes, I agree. Now, here is another example. Your conscious thoughts regulate your health. The persistent idea of illness will make you ill. While you believe that you become ill because of viruses, infections, or accidents, then you must go to doctors who operate within that system of belief. And because you believe in their cures, hopefully you will be relieved of your difficulty. That is your belief, That is why you
Exactly,
keep
no.
taking.
For everything, if you don't go to the doctor, like one of my cousins, he has that problem. For everything, he has to go to the doctor.
Yeah. Otherwise, they don't get satisfaction.
And in the village during my childhood, I have seen what my other cousin used to do with him. This fellow would say, I've got this problem, and immediately he would give him a saline tablet. Okay. And he will come back and say, thank you for the tablet. Now I'm feeling perfectly fine.
You know, my grandmother, she did not
Ah,
have any issues, my dad's mom. But she used to feel that how come I'm not taking any medicines, because she used to see other old people take. So she would ask my mama, who is my mom's brother, who is a pharmacist, get me some tablets. He'll say, you don't have any issues. She'll say, no, I have a lot of issues. Get me. She did not. So what he used to do, give her some vitamin tablets. She will literally taste it and say, this is not tasting good. But he would give her only vitamin tablets so that he'll say, oh, this is for your this pain, that pain, this pain. She didn't
I
have
know.
anything. She didn't have diabetes. She didn't have blood pressure, nothing. But she wanted to take medicines.
No, 100%. All the people that we really sit and analyze, they will fall into this F2, F1. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's continue.
Because you do not understand that your thoughts create illness, you will continue to undergo it. However, a new symptoms will appear. You will again return to the doctor. When you are in the process of changing beliefs, when you are beginning to realize that your thoughts and feelings cause illness, then for a while you may not know what to do. In that larger context, you realize that the doctor can at best give you temporary relief, yet you may not be completely convinced as yet of your own ability to change your thoughts, or you may be so cowed by their effectiveness that you are frightened. So there is a period of stress in between beliefs, so to speak, while you dispense with one set and are learning to use another. You dispense with one set and are learning to use another. But here you become involved with one of the most meaningful aspects of nature of personal reality. As you test your thoughts against what seems to be, there may be a time before you learn how to change your thoughts effectively, but you are engaged in a basic meaningful endeavor. The truth is then that you form your own reality directly. You react consciously and unconsciously to your beliefs. You collect from the physical universe and the interior one data that seems to correlate with your beliefs. Believe then
So
that
the interior one is more data. Okay,
correct.
that data you will link to your belief and draw a conclusion.
Yes. Believe then that you are a being unlimited by nature, born into flesh to materialize as best you can the great joy and spontaneity of your nature. Now you may take a break. This will be a shorter chapter because of the previous long one. So basically he's saying how because of your beliefs only you are creating all this illness. But see, because you don't have faith, and confidence in your own body.
Correct. And this is reiterating the F1, F2 again and again.
Yeah. Okay, Jane's place had been consistently faster than in previous sessions on the book. Break was short. Beginning at 10:45, Seth gave several pages of material for me. I had hardly expected it. Then he wound up the session at 11:20. PM with this comment. Now tell Rupert there will be schools of thought built from core beliefs. Tell him that. Session 618, September 28, 1972. Thursday. The session was witnessed by writer Richard Bach and his editor Eleanor Freed. They flew into Elmira yesterday after poor weather had delayed their scheduled arrival on Tuesday in time for ESP class. Oh, Richard Bach was attending her classes. Dick had also visited us in a late August when Seth had chapter 1 of his book underway. Jane had delivered a rather lengthy but informal session for our guests last night. As we lingered around the as we lingered around the supper table after a late meal, Dick recorded a and is to send us a transcript. So later we will be able to add a few excerpts from that material to this session. Earlier this evening, Jane had sung quite spontaneously in Sumari, but her manner became more deliberate now as she began speaking for Seth. Now, good evening, Seth. And we will resume dictation. Give us a moment. Core beliefs are those about which you build your life. You are consciously aware of these, though often you do not focus your attention upon them. They become invisible, therefore, unless you become aware of the contents of your conscious mind. See, that means main thing is we need to become aware of our core beliefs. That is the most
No,
important.
see, the other hidden message I am getting out of it is this is also part of your core belief.
Yeah, habit. That's what Joe Dispenza talks about in his book.
Correct.
Because he says the body becomes mind because of the habits.
Correct.
To become
Feeling
acquainted
and
with
thinking. He
Yes.
says feeling and thinking becomes
part of your body.
no, the T and F just juxtapose. So it becomes feeling and thinking.
Oh, healing.
That's what he
okay.
calls.
Feeling. Yeah. Yes. To become acquainted with your own ideas and beliefs, you must walk among them. Walk among them symbolically speaking, without blinders. Okay. To become acquainted with your own ideas and beliefs, you must walk among them symbolically speaking, without blinders. You must look through the structures that you have yourself created, the organized ideas upon which you have grouped your experience. So that means we have to examine our own ideas, beliefs frequently. To see clearly into your own mind, you must first of all unstructure your thoughts, follow them without judging them, without comparing them to the framework of your beliefs. This is the main thing is, you need to unstructure your thoughts.
Don't bring in your framework anywhere. Bahar rakho.
Yes, without comparing them to the framework of your belief. Structured beliefs collect and hold your experience, packaging it, so to speak. And so when you look at a given experience that seems like another, you put it into the same structured package, often without examination. Such beliefs can hold surprises. When you lift upon the cover of one, you may find that it has served to hide valuable information that did not belong there. An artificial grouping of ideas like paper flower can be collected about a standard core belief. What is that paper flower he's talking about? No, it is not there. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. The core belief, because of its intensity and because of your habits, let's go down one more page,
will often
tend to attract to itself others of a like nature. Okay, because of those beliefs, core beliefs, same you attract, like that same belief.
Correct.
They will hang on. If you are not accustomed to examining your own mind, then you can allow separate growths of this kind to form about a belief until you cannot distinguish one from the other. They will see, because if you keep on doing the same thing over and over, you are attracting the same thing. but you
Correct.
need to accustom to examine and change it. See, if you are not accustomed to examining your own mind, then you can allow separate growths of this kind to form about a belief until you cannot distinguish one from the other. This can develop to such an extent that all of your experience is seen only in relationship to this idea growth.
Correct.
Data that seems unrelated to this core belief is then not assimilated but thrown into the corners of your mind unused, and you are denied the value of that information.
Yeah, because you are not looking at it from reality perspective.
It's hidden,
It's clouded.
yes.
Yeah.
Separate portions of your mind can contain such chambers of inactive material. This information will not be a part of the organized structure of your usual thoughts. Though the data is consciously available, you can be relatively blind to it. Usually, when you look into your conscious mind, you do so for a particular reason to find some information. But if you have schooled yourself to believe that such data is not consciously available, then it will not occur to you to find it in your conscious mind. If furthermore your conscious data is strongly organized about a core belief, then this will automatically make you blind to experience that is not connected with it. So that means
Just
he is
hold the line.
saying,
No, just hold the line. I just wanted to highlight one thing.
this is interesting. So he says
No,
that
this is interesting. See, I'm just seeing this being exteriorized in what is happening in the US today.
I'm thinking here, this is where this the data that is not paid attention to comes as an intuition. At times, because
that could be one. I've just posted one wonderful book on intuitions and chakras yesterday. Right? Go through it. You will understand how many different types of intuitions are there. This is one of the point. This is your cognitive intuition.
Yeah.
Not your emotional intuition. This is your cognitive. Then
the
there is a
information
global
we have
intuition.
gathered, information
See,
we have
for
gathered,
example,
unused, and put it somewhere in our mind.
Yes, that's also possible. Now, I asked ma'am to stop here because till recently, till a decade ago, the perception the Western countries or the advanced countries had was that India is a country of snake charmers and rope trick players.
Yes.
Right? And US is the mother of all the best place to be in. Yes? Integrity is the highest order and all. But what we are noticing now from the perspective of corruption, etc., the things that are coming out, we were blind to all this data, right? The way Donald Trump is opening up the level of corruption, the misuse, how they promoted so many things around the world, right? The US aid, how it was misused away from the real purpose, etc. We are seeing so many things now.
It was always there, sir, but like we
No,
growing
it
up
was
in
always
India,
there, but did we
we were not
pay
aware
attention?
of it. That's all. Yeah.
No, did we pay attention to it? No. Right? We did not. And today, when in the last one decade and a quarter or whatever we may call it, people have started respecting India as a country. Right? People are getting to know so much of what they thought was true is limited in its truth. Right? So, how beautifully this is working out in reality. It is teaching us so much, right?
See, here this sentence, If you have schooled yourself to believe that such data is not consciously available, then it will not occur to you to find it in your conscious mind. Because,
Correct.
see, even though it is not there, okay, but because it didn't come out, so the consciously, that is why it is not consciously available to our conscious mind.
Correct.
But somebody comes out and then it opens the box, the Pandora box.
Correct. Now, how true? Whatever
Yeah.
he's saying, if we really look at the scenario today, we are finding a lot of truth in it. Let's continue.
Okay. If furthermore your conscious data is strongly organized about a core belief, then this will automatically make you blind to experience that is not connected with it. See, that is what, even though it is truth, if you have some other core belief, then if it is against it, you don't believe it.
You will not. You won't accept it in the first place.
Because it is against your core belief.
Correct.
That way he says, it makes you blind to your experience. A core belief is invisible when you think of it as a fact of life and not as a belief about life. Okay, a core belief is invisible only when you think of it as a fact of life and not as a belief about life. Only when you identify with it so completely that you automatically focus your perceptions along that specific line. For example, here is a seemingly very innocent core belief: I am a responsible parent. Now, on the surface, there is nothing wrong with that belief. If you hold to it and do not examine it, however, you may find that the word responsible is quite loaded and collects other ideas that are equally unexamined by you. What is your idea of being responsible? According to your answer, you can discover whether the core belief works to your advantage or not. If responsible means I must be a parent 24 hours a day to the exclusion of everything else, then you may be in difficulty, for that core belief might prevent you from using other abilities that exist quite apart from your parenthood. You may begin to perceive all physical data through the eyes of that core belief alone. You will not look out upon physical reality with the wonder of a child anymore, or with the unstructured curiosity of an individual, but always through parental eyes. Thus, you will close yourself off from much of the physical experience. See, that is what the responsible word, how you perceive, how you believe.
Correct.
So that way, you are shutting off your own individual happiness. Always,
Correct.
attending to. Now, telepathically, you will also attract unconscious data that fits into the rigid pattern according to the strength and stubbornness of this idea and whether or not you are willing to deal with it. You may narrow our life still further, all information of any kind finally becoming relatively invisible to you unless it touches upon your parental reality. See, unless it hits, somewhere, otherwise you are blind to it.
I think we'll stop here.
Yeah.
Because it's a logical spot, right? We can start with this point next. Yeah. Any comments from anyone?
And the core beliefs also, either individual or group beliefs or national belief, there is, it all, there are so many ways.
Correct. No, how beautifully he has brought us to the realization of F1, F2.
Yeah.
So, Bala ma'am, here the being responsible means that you are available when your child is in need of you, and you are always kind of guarding over his or her security or needs or things of that nature.
Yes.
Okay. So, I think that is the it's a loaded sentence, definitely. And And we
No,
all,
but should
yeah,
you do it at the cost of what all you want to do? That is the question that you need to ask. He says, as against 24/7, right? Are you to do it that way? There may be a phase within which you have to do 24/7.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's not talking about that. That is putting it under
correct.
exception.
No, I
See,
think
when the
general
kid is
assumption is,
very young, when the kid is very young, yes, they need all attention all the time. And then some women, mothers, they quit the job and take care of the kids completely,
Correct.
After they
But
have grown up to a certain age, they will go back.
correct.
So that is what, otherwise thinking that, some people, even while working also, the mothers, they have this feeling that, oh my God, am I doing the injustice? Am I doing the justice? I'm not spending enough time with my kids. They feel like that, mothers, I know that.
Correct. And that creates a problem for them.
Yeah.
So I would like to add this one, responsible parent. Here in the US, they say helicopter parents, especially consider tiger parents or helicopter parents. I feel so resonated, They're so occupied and they rescue the kids and they are responsible every 24/7. That's literally, I felt that's the connection. Thank you.
Quite correct.
Yeah.
so actually, Chandra sir, here the lecture is pretty good. The most difficult part of it is for every individual to identify his or her core beliefs.
Yes. It's not easy.
One is, see, the core belief is something that will, let us try to simplify it. What is a core belief? A core belief is one that will not change under F1 and F2. Only then can you call it core. So we need to identify those beliefs within us which is consistent throughout. But is that a reality? Will your belief remain the same when you are challenged? Or will you give in to the challenge?
I think by for the convenience of the consequences, we give in or we hang on to it.
Correct.
Even if we are willing to change, sir, because sometimes even we recognize the core belief, whether we want to come out of it is also a questionability, because by having such a core belief, maintaining that for a long time, we created our comfort zone. So
correct.
Coming out is like a big challenge. It's not that easy.
No, 100% agree.
Correct.
Agree.
Yeah, agree.
Now, that way, we will find so many things. So what he's saying is just take a relook. Particularly when we want to embrace any new learning or any transformation that we want to bring about in ourselves, recognizing this becomes very, very essential. Because if something is consistent under F1 and F2, then probably somewhere we are making a mistake.
Yeah.
Because we are not living in the moment, we are living in the perception.
So I just want to clarify one thing. So F1 means, so whatever in the reality, so we are immortal, okay, we are fearless. So these are all unlimited beliefs, okay. But in physicality, we are not, living.
You are not taking cognizance of all those qualities.
Yeah, of those qualities. So the one is the unlimited, one is limited.
Correct. One is real, the other one is imaginary.
Yeah, imaginary or ego made, ego mind.
Yeah,
created.
Whichever one. Yeah.
Yeah. See, when you think that the same consciousness in everywhere it is there, and the whole universe is made up of love, there should not be any fear.
Correct.
But because of our limited beliefs, we are creating separation. Because of that separation, we are having that fear.
Correct. No, see, when you, for example, when you go to a doctor, right? Generally, a doctor will tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And he will paint a beautiful picture of what he wants. What does he want? He wants your repeated visit.
Yes. Any doctor,
So,
yes.
now that is what we get enamored by, and then we base we give it a qualification saying he's a very good doctor.
Because he speaks nicely.
But how many times do we sit together, understand whether what he has said, am I really experiencing?
One more thing, they are so busy. If we keep on asking so many questions, they'll say, I don't have time.
In India, they don't even explain.
Yeah.
No. Actually, you've
Now
got
it changed.
two kinds of doctors in India. One, right, after the first visit, they become so much a friend of yours that their approach is completely different. It is non-commercial. They will call you once in a while. They will talk to you. They will exchange ideas with you. It all depends upon how you handle the situation. Right. That was how doctors are actually meant to be. Right. Now, but then it depends upon how you are working towards developing that kind of a relationship.
So, sir, I wanted to throw an idea how anybody can identify his or her core beliefs. Okay. Or if you are getting irritated at any situation, then probably that is an item for you to observe and then analyze.
That is an item for you to what do you call? Yes, not only observe. That's also an item for you which you need to investigate further.
Right.
Work on it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to use those kind of words. Then people will brand me also. वो चंद्रा सर का क्लास में हमेशा यही होता है. वो नहीं चाहिए.
No, for example, right, like when I take a right turn, I want to enter only on the rightmost lane, not in the second from the rightmost lane.
Correct.
I get irritated when anyone enters the second lane from the right. Okay, not the first one. So, that means like I had a core belief. I am
that's your comfort zone.
Right. So like that, if
you want to change that, I will give you a very easy solution. Come and drive in Hyderabad for 1 week. You will change all your beliefs.
No, I know. No, but what I wanted to say is like, I agree with you, sir. So if you are getting irritated at any time for any reason, that is a
look
reason.
Into it.
Yeah,
look into it. Is it F1 or F2?
Yeah.
Other thing also, like the other day when we read about nature gods in the Think and Destiny, this we can apply it over there, this very core belief system.
Yeah.
Associated with that nature god, what we have read in the, Thinking and Destiny.
No, those gods are
man-made.
Yeah, man-made.
And we don't want to come out of it. We don't even want to agree if someone try to say against that.
See what happened the other day.
That we get through it.
Yeah. See, even
and
though
the
we
fear
don't
like
have,
may be associated with it.
Ratna, even though we change our beliefs, okay, after reading all these books, some like in our family, other member, they don't have the same beliefs as we have.
Yes.
We are forced to do certain things.
Yeah.
Okay, and some friend calls us, okay, for the Sivaratri. When we go, even though we don't believe in all these religious customs and all these things, we are forced to do.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's what I did, but I was just, even though I don't have all these beliefs, but I was said for my husband's sake, I'm doing this.
Social courtesy.
Yeah, social courtesy. Don't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah.